Yeah, this is the best thing.
Okay, all right, thanks. Yeah, I do appreciate all your help.
Norris?
Yeah, and to see it
Beautiful.
To see it well, and the people who we got them from.
Somebody
Right,
gave
Elenu
me a
gets-
hug.
Okay.
Somebody gave me a hug with their, now I made it worse.
That's what I'm trying to learn about. I'm not going to learn about it. I'm not this guy.
Start today. It is true.
Okay. Hello, Stephanie George. Shalom. Thank you so much for being here. Just gonna get some water.
I'm going to go get another map. No.
Not a problem. The only one without a mask.
No, I brought you.
I have a mask.
Yeah, I always feel more comfortable having one when I'm not singing. Check, check, check. It's probably fine.
Well, I don't want it because it'll fall off. More like this.
It's good to sit sometimes. Feels good to sit sometimes.
Classic rock.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Grand Funk Railroad?
Sure.
I just heard them on my radio
Yeah.
the other day.
Nice.
Best song they ever done was a combo of the Captain and
Yes.
Closer to Home.
Yeah, great song. That's a great song.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
I took the morning
Oh, nice. Hopefully I didn't get too many crumbs inside.
No, I think we got rid of the grody ones.
That's good.
No.
Because we're going to have 8.
Right.
Yes. As I mentioned, with us and views and like.
Well, she'd be sitting up front wherever. If she'd rather be
Yes.
sitting here.
Whatever,
Yeah.
wherever you'd like to sit. You were saying there's like a middle space.
Yeah, I'm going to, I'll try you both the thing and show it to you.
Okay. Because I might want to leave from the table that
that's
I'm at.
fine.
With the handheld, and I just, you know me with these mics, with these masks, so I'll obviously take my mask off most of the time, but it'll feel more comfortable sitting at the table.
Well, and that's why a couple of years ago, before we did what we did last time, rectangular tables to horizontal.
like a head table.
Oh, we're talking about
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seder.
talking about Seder. Do you have any preference about sitting? You thought we'd sit you with the rabbi and his family?
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening with
It'll be, it's not official yet. It'll be soon. Is it the same? Is it? That's so funny. It's a great dress. So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it on and I feel,
Yeah. It's a very flattering dress.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Except I had to shorten mine.
Oh. Yeah, it's perfect length for me.
Yeah.
Now that I know they make them in different designs, maybe I should try to find more. Not a lot of those anymore.
There's one here in Glendale,
All right.
at the Galleria. They've got actually very nice clothes.
I usually shop at like TJ Maxx.
Right.
Although, I think that's probably where I got this.
Yeah.
If I think about it.
Yeah, I put it on and then I found this somewhere else.
Oh yeah. I don't think I got this in the same shopping trip, but probably at the same place. How's it going?
Huh?
I said, how's it going?
Good. How about with you?
Pretty good.
A short timer.
Huh?
Are you a short timer? No, are you racing in June?
Yes.
Where will you be going?
It's not official yet, so I'm not really decided.
Oh, okay. Out of California?
Yes. It'll be a big move for sure.
She's an Illinois girl. I know. Well, that's right. You guys lived in Chicago. Yeah, the North Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too far. It's cold, I'll tell you what. That northwest wind come down.
The past couple days have been like 100 degrees in April. Like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take the cold over it.
Cool. Well, cool, not cold. You get autumn. Back
I know, I miss that.
I
miss
love
that.
autumn.
There's not enough deciduous trees out here, and they
Yeah.
don't know what to do. Like, there's no like weather that
I
tells
know,
them
they
to do
change in late November, early
I've seen
December.
I've seen trees, some deciduous trees, like in Westwood and stuff. I've seen them in like January or February finally start to.
Right, yeah. And then January they turn into February, then we have fall. You know, even those.
Jacarandas are pretty.
Oh, the
right?
jacarandas are beautiful.
But then you don't want carp.
Nah.
That gets to be a mess.
Glasses are stupid. My glasses. Pretty. I love the colors in it. It's wonderful. It's everything that needs to be done is done. Relax and enjoy. There's nothing you can change anyway at this point. I arrived at my son's party to see they had sent the wrong color balloons.
What have they done?
At my son Jerry, who is now 46, it's been a while. At his party, they sent the wrong color balloon. And I looked at it and I for the centerpieces. And I looked at it and said, does it look okay? It looked great. Nobody else would know. And was there anything I could do about it
At that point?
No! So enjoy the party.
Oh my god, I thought this for like everything went wrong, like in the last minute. I mean, it all went right in time.
Right.
But like leading up to it, we had like our photographer like through. I think a different one, but it doesn't matter. Photographer was fine. Then we had like our party arranger had like gotten like broken like a wrist or something like that, but then she was still able to like get things together in time. And then I was going for such a growth spurt that my dress didn't fit the week before, and we had to both my dress and my suit for the service. And gosh, and like last minute alterations for everything, and I was worried because I almost had to switch my bat mitzvah, we had a family friend's wedding, and my dress barely fit me again. It's like it was such a
Wow,
tough.
you really did
I
it.
was in the pictures from my bat mitzvah, I'm like still a good few inches shorter than my sisters, and then like a little over a year later, when I graduated 8th grade, I was, almost the full height I am now. So yeah.
That's so fun. Hey, were you ever at a party with the DJ personalities incorporated? That's my next
Hey, you guys got everything you need? You got prayer books? How are you? Good. It's so nice to see you. You're driving, I hear. All right. How does that feel? Is it scary? My son and my daughter's Nina's now, we're driving together, so yeah. Well, that's exciting. Remember what I used to call that? That's the car. That's the car.
It's coming back.
Yeah.
But you know what they didn't do? They didn't do the chicken dance.
No. Yeah, Lou just
Right. Do you have a preference where you sit up here when you're sitting down? Good.
And it's all lights and flash and all that.
Okay. Yes. Well, what do we got, Aiden? We have 4 minutes.
I think you're ready. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to get started. Hine Matov, how good, how pleasant it is for us all to be here together. You can find the prayer on page 188 in your Siddur. Please join me.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning. Welcome to Temple Sinai of Glendale. I'm Rabbi Rick Schechter. That's Cantor Alyssa Rosenbaum. It's so wonderful for all of us to be together today. So great to be together as family, to be together as friends, to be together as a community to celebrate Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest and renewal, a day when we can just slow down, and thank God for all the goodness and all the blessings in our lives. This Shabbat is so very special because on this Shabbat we celebrate Alex Suvalle becoming a bat mitzvah. Alex is a bat mitzvah, literally a daughter of the commandments. So today Alex is recognized in our eyes and in the eyes of the entire Jewish world as having come of age in our tradition, and she is ready and willing and able to keep the teachings and the practices of Judaism. So today Alex demonstrates her new status as a bat mitzvah, as a daughter of the commandment, by leading us in prayer and worship. So please join in. We're all going to celebrate together. So please join in the English. When Alex invites you to join in English, please join in the Hebrew. If you know the Hebrew, please sing along. Even if you don't know the lyrics or the melody, please hum along or clap along, and we will all celebrate together. Now, Alex is also going to demonstrate her new status as a bat mitzvah by chanting from the Torah, from the 5 books of Moses, and by reading her Haftarah portion from the prophetical books of the Jewish Bible. And Alex will share very thoughtful and wise teachings of hers based upon this week's Torah portion. So we want to wish a heartful Mazel Tov to Alex, and to Jen, and to Rick, and to Arden, and to the entire family. My goodness, we have family and friends from all over with us today. We've got family and friends from throughout the Los Angeles area, including the neighborhoods of Los Angeles, and Glendale, and Encino, and near the Grove, and Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Northridge, West Hollywood, and Culver City. We've got family and friends from Westchester, California, and Irvine, California, from Dallas, Texas, from Hartford and New Haven, Connecticut, from Framingham, Massachusetts, and from New York City. And with us on live stream today, we have family and friends from throughout California and from Florida, from North Carolina, from Massachusetts, from New York City. We have family and friends with us today, even as far as Burbank, California. So thank you all for being here today. Hopefully everybody has a copy of the prayer book we'll be using. This is a Hebrew opening book, so it opens and reads from right to left instead of left to right. We'd like to invite everybody in the sanctuary now to please silence your electronic devices. If you could silence your cell phones and your smartphones. No texting during the service. Alex, you're doing great. We have another way to show our love and appreciation to Alex throughout the service. It's a modified form of applause. Instead of applauding like this, we're going to go like this. You know this, Bradley. You remember this one? I learned this in Dallas, Texas by Rabbi Ken Roseman. He didn't call it this, but we like to call this Sacred Pac-Man. And it's one of Alex's favorites, so we'll have plenty of opportunities to do that throughout the service today. Just a reminder, there's no photography during the service, so let us begin. We turn to page 185 in our prayer book, page 185. Well, in loving community of family and friends, this morning we celebrate Alex, and we enter this sacred space to voice the longings of our hearts in prayer. We devote ourselves this morning to psalm and to song, to study and to prayer. May our hearts be lifted, may our thoughts be deepened, and may our souls, like the eagle, soar. Well, in that spirit, we now turn to page 190. Page 190, at this time, we are so very honored to call upon Michael and Ellen Suvalle, Alex's grandparents, to present Alex with her talit, her Jewish prayer shawl.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Mazel. Thank you. Thank you. It's all good? It was good? Okay, great.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Michael. Let's now turn to page 192. Page 192. It is traditional upon entering a Jewish sanctuary in the morning to recite these words, to sing these words. They come from the Torah, from the book of Numbers, Ma Tovu. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. This is our spiritual dwelling place. Please join us if you know Ma Tovu. Turn to page 198. Page 198, as we are so honored to have Alex, our bat mitzvah, lead us in prayers, thanking God for the miracles of daily life. Alex is going to lead in the Hebrew. We're going to respond in the English, beginning at the top of page 198.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech vivina lehavin ben yom uvein laila.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kifufim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam chamehin mitzadei gaver.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam chanoten la ya'ef koah.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha'ma'avir she'ena me'enai u'numa me'afapai.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorin.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me free.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvorah.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifarah.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor.
We continue with the Hatzi Kaddish on page 224.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'almad yivrach yinote v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, u'bizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lam me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar b'tromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar, v'yit'alev, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma, v'imeru, amen.
We now turn to page 226. Please rise for our call to worship. Turn to page 228 for the Yotzer Or prayer, thanking God for the wonders of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or uvorei Hosheh. Say Shalom Hurei Hakol. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. And mercy you illume the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the light you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit in radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMorah.
Amen.
We turn to page 230. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with the surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus on our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You choose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise to you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love.
Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Please join me in the Shema, beginning on page 232.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Please be seated. Please join me in chanting the Ve'ahavta on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha. Ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'elech asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'chayu l'totafot b'neinecha uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohehem. Ani Adonai Elohehem asher motzeiti atem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lechem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohehem. Adonai Elohehem.
We continue on page 239. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way, true and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. We continue on page 240.
come to the heart of Jewish worship, the Amidah, on pages 242 through 248. Please rise. Adonai, Sefatati Ufia Izrilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Otim Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'ol, V'toher Ha'se'avot V'imahot, V'yulah L'nei Bneihem, L'man Shemo Yahavah, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Yivor Elam Arnai, Mechayei Kol Atah, Rav Le'Oshia. Mechaker Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rahamim Rabim. Somen Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh Elunato, Mishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Yehurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Emit, Umekayeh, Umatzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי אני אדוני אלוהיכם ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי בציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיגון לך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושמך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. We continue with the singing of Vishamru on page 250. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני
nefesh Shabbat bayi nefesh Leshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat B'dorotam b'rit olam Leshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat B'dorotam b'rit olam.
Please turn to page 252. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth and your gracious love. Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
I'm honored to now call upon I'm honored to now call upon Arsha and Marcia and Art Arpin to lead us in prayers beginning on page 254.
Which one was this? Thank you. Okay. You go first. I think. Because where's mine?
I'm ready? Okay. All right, here we go. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion.
Baruch atah Adonai hamachazer shechinato letzion.
Okay. Okay, but do we have to turn to? Okay. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hands, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose memories never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you.
Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot.
Please turn to page 256.
Let's see, I'll give that to you. This one's right here. Yeah, it's good. You're good.
We now take a moment for personal and silent prayer.
רצון ימרפי יהיו לרצון ימרפי ויון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי Oh may the words of my mouth the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you Adonai my rock and my redeemer Oseh shalom bimramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru
We now come to our Torah service. You can find the prayers and the blessings for the Torah service beginning on page 362. Page 362.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני יעוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום אב הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים תבנה חומות ירושלים כי בך לבד בטחנו מלך אלרם ונישא אדון עולמים
To now open the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark, we are delighted to call upon Donald I., Alex's godfather, and to pass the Torah through the generations. We are so honored to call upon Michael and Ellen Suvalle, Alex's grandparents, Rick and Jen Suvalle, Alex's parents, and of course Alex Suvalle, our bat mitzvah. After the processional with the Torah, we are honored to help us undress the Torah scroll, Margie Suvalle, Alex's aunt, and Aiden Fischel, Alex's cousin. We now invite the entire congregation to please rise before the open ark. Well, Alex, you are leading us so wonderfully today in prayer and in worship. You know, you've been leading us in some prayers that are thousands of years old, and you're getting ready to do something that Jewish people have also been doing for millennia, for thousands of years. Reading and chanting from the Torah, the embodiment of Jewish wisdom and teaching and history, the 5 books of Moses, the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We're not going to ask Alex to read all those books today. As you know, you've got one right in the middle, in the book of Leviticus, that Alex is going to share in just a moment. So Alex, in becoming a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandment, you're now taking your place among the Jewish people and what we call as part of the Shashelet HaKabbalah. Shashelet HaKabbalah, the chain of Jewish tradition. This loving chain of tradition extends thousands of years into the past. It will extend thousands of years into the future. We are confident because of you as the newest and the strongest link in this loving chain of Jewish tradition. So Alex, this Torah comes to you Lador Vador, from generation to generation with the love and support of your family. Thank you, Cantor. It comes with the love and the support of your grandparents. Mazel tov. Mazel tov to you. Mazel tov to you. Congratulations. With the love and the guidance of your dad. Rick, would you like to pass it? Sure. With the love and support of your mom, to now finally rest in your arms, Alex.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ulevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneram Neva Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod ki cho b'shamayim u'va'aretz ki cho b'shamayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'amid na'aseh lechol rosh Rommemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishtachavu, Ve'ishtachavu, Lehar Kodsho, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam Omeid. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, גמילות חסדים על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים העולם עומד.
And please be seated, everybody. Okay.
This week's Torah portion is called Mitzvah. This portion is found in the book of Leviticus, chapters 14 and 15. In this Torah portion, we learn about those affected by skin diseases and menstruation and how the ancient Jewish priests would purify them. After the blessings, I will begin chanting at verse 1 of chapter 14, which can be found on page 752 of the Blue Plout Commentary and on page 659 of the Green Women's Torah Commentary.
So just to repeat those numbers, in the blue book, in the big blue book in front of you, page 752 in the blue Torah commentary, and in the green women's Torah commentary, page 659. So 752 and 659, beginning at verse 1. Well, and as you're finding that your place in the Torah commentaries, we wanted to mention that it is an honor in Judaism to be called to the Torah to chant, as Alex is about to do as bat mitzvah. It's also an honor to be called to the Torah before and after each chanting, saying blessings, thanking God for the gift, the wisdom of Torah. That honor is called an aliyah. Aliyah literally means going up. We have 3 aliyot this morning. For our first aliyah, we are so very honored to call upon Michael and Ellen Suvalle, Alex's grandparents.
יעמדו מיכאל בן נפתלי יהודה, אתל בת פסח לב ראשון.
Baruch es Adonai HaMavorach.
Baruch HaNavarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bochar banu mikol ha'amim, v'nosan lanu es Toraso. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Zot tiyeh Torah hamitzvah b'yom tahorato v'huva el hakohen v'yatsa hakohen el michutz lamachaneh v'ra'a hakohen v'hinei nirpa nega hatzarad min hataruah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nosan lanu Toras emes v'chayei olam nata b'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
For our second Aliyah this morning, we are so very honored to call upon Rick and Jen Suvalle, Alex's parents, and Arden Suvalle, Alex's sister.
יעמדו ראובן בן מיכאל, פסח לב בת ראובן, שני.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. V'yatza hakohen. V'tziva hakohen. V'lakach lamitaher. Shtei purim chayot tehorot. Ve'et erez ushni tolat ve'ezov. V'tziva hakohen. V'shachat et hatzipor ha'echat el kli heres. Almayim Chayim. Et Chatzipor Chahaya Yika Ota Ve'eta Erez Ve'etchni Hatolat Ve'haizov V'taval Otam Ve'et Chatzipor Chahaya Bidam Chatzipor Hashuta al hamayim chachayim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Congratulations.
Is it here?
Okay, I'm gonna call you up first. Yes, that's right there.
For our third and final Aliyah this morning, we are so very honored to officially call as Bat Mitzvah Alex Suvalle.
תעמוד, 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 הבחורה בת מצווה, דוידה בת ראובן, עלייה שלישי.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvora.
ברוך אדוני מרח לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hamvora le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
V'hizah al hamitaher min ha'Torah sheva pe'amim v'ti haro v'shila et hatzipor chachaya al panei hasadeh v'hi beis hamitaher et begadav v'gila et kol se'aro v'rachat b'mayim v'taher v'achar yavo el hamachaneh v'yashav mihut lo holo shivat yamim
v'haya v'ayom hashvi'i yigala et kol se'aro et rosho ve'et zikano ve'et gabot einav ve'et kol se'aro yigalea ve'hi beis et bigadav ve'rachatz et bisaro b'mayim v'taher. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech vina asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Yes, this is definitely one of those moments. Yes. We like to call this a Siman Tov und Mazel Tov moment. It is a good sign and good fortune that we were all celebrating together as Alex chanted from the Torah so beautifully as Bat Mitzvah. We'd love to invite the family over to join Alex at the Torah as we all sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. So please join us in this song of joy.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Elenu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Elenu.
Well, with the Torah before us, it's a Jewish custom to say special prayers. In this case, prayers of healing for people we know who are sick or injured, people who are in need of a healing, a body and spirit. And we invite you to please join us in this prayer of healing, the Mishabarak prayer of healing. You can find it in the middle of page 371, middle of 371.
Mishabarak avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
At this time, we'd like to invite you to offer the names of people you know who are in need of healing. We'll go around the sanctuary. Please just raise your hand and call out their names. Thank you. Please. Carolyn. Yeah, Aiden. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, please, Ari. Yes. Yeah, please, brother.
Annie Barra and Phyllis Biggleson.
Carolyn Adams and Bernice Robinson.
we think of all of them, and we include in our prayer of healing all the folks listed on the inside of our Shabbat leaflet. We pray in our hearts for these temple members who are in need of healing, these family members in need of healing, and all these friends and co-workers who are in need of healing, as we now continue our prayer of healing together.
Mishabarak imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We pray that they are all healed. Well, Alex chanted Torah so wonderfully. She's getting ready to also read from the prophetical books of the Jewish Bible in the Haftarah portion. Before she does so, Alex would like to share with you all something that she made for this very special occasion. So, Alex, let's head on down. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Flo. Let's see, Cantor, do you have the other? Great, thank you. I want to come on down a little bit closer to be able to show this to you. So this is what we use to bind the Torah scroll. It's called a wimple. That's a Yiddish word based on a German word for cloth. And we ask each of our B'nai Mitzvah students, our Bat Mitzvah students and our Bar Mitzvah students, to design their very own wimple, which includes their Jewish name, their Hebrew name in the middle, and then it's surrounded by Jewish symbols or also images, symbolizing things that are very important to them in their own life. And as you can see, Alex has filled her wimple with wonderful symbols and things. So Alex, why don't we just show everybody, we'll sort of go from Hebrew right to left. What are we looking at right next to my hand there?
A trumpet. I put this because I play trumpet in band at my school, and it's something I really like doing.
Awesome. So you play trumpet at school, and you've got some musical notes next to your trumpet. Underneath the trumpet, what are we looking at right there? What's right there?
Basketball, because it's my favorite sport, and I used to play it a lot.
Okay, great. So you like basketball. Very nice. I don't know if y'all can see this cute little guy. Who is that?
Baby Yoda, because I love Star Wars.
Baby Yoda, because you love Star Wars. Very nice. Well, he is adorable. He looks like quite the Jedi Master. Is he already a Jedi Master at this stage? Does he have skills? Or I guess I haven't followed the Baby Yoda. Was a Mandalorian? Is that it? He does not yet have skills?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. Okay. It's there. It just it hasn't fully developed. Okay. All right. Well, he's adorable. So very nice. Oh, and so then in the middle, of course, you've got your Hebrew name, and let's see. Why don't we go above your Hebrew name? This is really cool. Can you read that for everybody? What that says?
Genesis 12:1.
Genesis 12:1. Now, your Torah portion today was in the book of Leviticus. You remember, what is it about Genesis 12:1 that's significant? She made the wimple a while ago. It's been like 2 years, like pre-COVID. So this has to do. Let's do it this way. This has to do with, go over to the left above your name and read those numerals for everybody.
5769.
5769. That is the Jewish year that Alex was born. And we're now in 5782. So 5769 plus 13, we're 5782. And you put down the Torah portion
of your birth week. As a matter of fact, I was looking at this. Jen, was she born on Friday night? It was a Friday. So it was Shabbat. So this was literally the Shabbat. This was what was read in synagogues, Reform synagogues throughout the world. Genesis 12:1, a very famous portion where God says to Abraham and Sarah, the first two Jewish people, the Martha and George Washington of Judaism, Lech lecha, go forth and be a blessing and go to the land of Israel. So very powerful portion. So you put that right there, right when you were born. That was already there waiting for you. All right, almost like Baby Yoda growing into being a Jedi. You were growing into going forth and being a blessing. All right, great. So then underneath your name, tell us what else we're looking at.
Star of David.
Star of David, very nice, very nice. Symbolizing your Judaism. Oh, and next to the Star of David, what's that purple thing down there?
Skateboard.
Skateboard, yes. You like to skateboard?
I like to skateboard a lot.
Very nice, wonderful. Oh, and underneath your mom's name there, you've got, what are we looking at?
A scorpion.
A scorpion. Why a scorpion?
Because I'm a Scorpio, is my zodiac sign.
Right, so your zodiac sign. So it's traditional on a wimple to put one's birth sign. So you've got the scorpion right there. I'm a Cancer in the summertime, so I'm right there with you in the ocean. So very nice. And let's see. Oh, and then right all the way to the left there.
A Torah.
A Torah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, wonderful. This tells a story of your life and of your Judaism. And so we are so honored to wrap the Torah in your wimple. So thanks, Alex. Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah, let's head on down. I can take that. Right, well, we are going to dress the Torah now with this wimple to lift the Torah for all to see the words that Alex chanted so wonderfully. We are honored to call upon Rick Suvalle, Alex's dad, and to dress the Torah. We are so very honored to call upon Sam and Mary Kay Goldenberg, Alex's great uncle and great aunt. I'd like to invite everybody to please rise as the Torah is raised.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Morasha kehilat Yaakov, Morasha kehilat Yaakov, Morasha kehilat Yaakov. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe.
Please be seated, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, where's your Haftarah stuff? Is it over here? Is it right here? Okay. Okay, it's all this right here. Okay, great. So we got that. Okay, is that good? Is that how you like it? Okay, so we'll do that intro first. Thanks.
The Haftarah for this week's is a special one for Shabbat HaGadol, the Sabbath immediately before the festival of Passover, rather than the prophetic portion that is usually read with my Torah portion, Mitzvah. Instead, we read a portion found in the book of Malachi, chapter 3. This prophetic book dates from about 450 BCE and is traditionally considered to be the last book among the prophets. It affirms God's love for Israel and the promise of future redemption, and is read at this season because Passover is approaching. When we celebrate the Exodus from Egypt, that original redemption from slavery is often seen as the model and precursor of a future messianic redemption like the one described in this portion. After the blessing, I will begin reading at verse 22 of page 3, which can be found on page 1461 of the Blue Cloud Commentary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'Viviyeh ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Zichru Torat Moshe avdi asher tziviti oto v'chorei al kol Yisrael hukim umishpatim. Hine anohi sholeach lachem et Elia hanavi la livnei bo yom Adonai hagadol v'hanora v'hishiv lev avo al banim v'lev banim al avotam penavo v'hi keti et haaretz cherem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sor kol ha'olamim sadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lachnu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la umvarhim ota yitbarach shimha b'fi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai
Baruch v'avrach shemo.
mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Yes, another one of those moments. Well done, Alex. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're getting ready to return the Torah to the Ark. We turn to page 374 in our prayer book, page 374. And to help us return the Torah, we are so honored to call upon Stephanie and Alfred Bennett, Alex's great aunt and great uncle. And as they come up, we invite the entire congregation to please rise.
may be seated.
Please be seated, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you all for coming today. My Torah portion is called Mitzvah in Hebrew and is from the book of Leviticus, and it is probably the most infamous Torah portion in the 5 books of Moses. It's about skin diseases and menstruation. Definitely not my favorite topics to talk about. Mitzvah talks about people being excluded from their communities due to certain skin conditions considered to be contagious. These people would have to go outside of what is called the camp, that is basically their town/community. Once they were out of the camp, the ancient Jewish priests would then perform rituals in order to help heal the impure person. Some of these seemingly crazy yet sometimes helpful rituals included gathering 2 live birds, cedar wood, crimson stuff, and hyssop, whatever that is, to be brought to the person being purified. Once they were eventually all healed, they would then be allowed to go back to their camp or community, but they were not allowed inside their tent for up to 7 days, just in case. After the 7 days were up, they would finally be allowed to go back home and feel like a normal person again. The ancient Jewish priest was with them every step of the way, inside and outside of the camp, to help them heal and be returned to their homes. As you can imagine, these people might have felt excluded when they were forced outside of their camp due to their disease, just like me. I say this because some of you might already know I have a disease. It is called type 1 diabetes. This is an autoimmune disease in which my pancreas does not produce insulin, which is needed to live. Luckily, I have a device called an insulin pump, which helps keep me alive. As I mentioned, the ancient Israelites performed rituals to help cure themselves of their disease. And while there isn't a cure for type 1 diabetes yet, I do lots of rituals to keep myself healthy. Some examples are pricking my fingers to test my blood sugar, drinking juice when I have low blood sugar, giving insulin when I have high blood sugar, changing my pump locations every 3 days, changing my Dexcom, a constant glucose monitor every 10 days. All of these rituals are to keep me healthy and pure like the ancient Israelites. As I also mentioned, the people with skin diseases back then, during the time of the Jewish Bible, may have felt excluded due to their physical condition and disease. I can definitely relate to these people. I have felt excluded many times in my life due to my blood sugar. If I have low or high blood sugar, I may have to miss sports, class, events, meals, activities, and of course, flying planes in my free time. Just kidding about that last one. But maybe one day. And I don't really mind missing PE class after gasping for air after running a mile in a mask. I hope my blood sugar is low enough tonight to eat some delicious food we'll be having because my parents are certainly paying enough for it. My Torah portion, as I talked about before, also mentions camp, which is a term for community in the Jewish Bible. I have a camp of my own. It is called Camp Conrad Chinook. It is a camp where diabetic kids like me and my sister don't have to worry about going into a coma at night because of the awesome doctors that come to check on you and occasionally test your blood by pricking your toes, which is definitely a strange feeling. Camp Conrad Chinook is a place where I feel like I belong because everybody there is going through exactly what I go through. These kids also have to give insulin when they have high blood sugar, change Dexcoms, and pump locations. Whenever I'm at this camp, I never feel alone because there's always one of my friends right there by my side whenever things get a little tough. It is my community, and I never feel left out because at this camp, everybody is just like me. And that is why, for my Mitzvah project, I am raising money for this amazing camp for kids just like me, but who can't afford to go. I had put a link in the Evite for the Bar Mitzvah ceremony if you'd like to donate. And with that being said, I'd now like to thank a number of people for helping me reach this important milestone in my life. I want to thank my parents and sister for being so supportive and always caring for me. I want to thank my grandparents for being so kind and loving and for coming all the way out here to watch me become a Bar Mitzvah. I also want to thank all of my teachers over the years for helping me get to where I am. And I want to thank Rabbi Rick and Cantor Alyssa, as well as my Hebrew teacher Deborah, and especially my Bat Mitzvah tutor Carolyn, for taking the time to help me prepare for this special part of my life. Finally, I want to thank all of you here today for coming to support me and celebrate my becoming a bat mitzvah. I appreciate you all so much. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Alex, you thanked all of us. We want to thank you. Thank you for making this day so very special, and thank you for sharing that very powerful teaching about the Torah portion, and everything you've been doing today has been so powerful. So thank you so much. And we know at this time, Jen, Rick, we know you'd like to share what's in your heart to Alex, so please, we'd be honored to have you come up and say a few words.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Thank you, Rabbi Rick. Thank you, Cantor Alyssa. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everyone. So, could I get a pat on the back? Can you go pat your father on the back? Don't pat him too hard, because I'll hear about it for weeks and months, and chiropractors will be involved, so take it easy. Okay. All right. So we deserve these pats on the back because you are the slayingest baddie in the land, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, is the biggest compliment that we can give a 13-year-old these days. You make us super proud, Alex, every day with your good grades, your trumpet playing, your skateboarding, your TikTok skills, your creativity, and the adventurous spirit from building your own fingerboard empire to air frying anything you could stick a crushed-up hockey to. You are one of the funniest people I know, quick-witted like your sister, but able to tell fart jokes like the best of them. Your most impressive trait, however, Alex, is your innate sense of kindness and a morality that, quite frankly, transcends anything your father or I might have taught you. You won't stand for bullies, and you'll abandon those who do, even if you end up paying a price yourself. You get very upset about wrongs done to others. You don't even like to throw things away because you feel like you're throwing away memories that will be lost forever. You operate on a different level than most adults I know. A month or two ago, you were having a particularly bad day. Bad school day, bad diabetes day, bad hair day, bad day. I told you sometimes you're just gonna have those days. You run across people that make you upset, things that happen that you can't control, and you need to do what you need to do to move on from those situations. And sometimes there just aren't any solutions. And I told you quite candidly, and in my somewhat vulgar way, sometimes you just gotta say F it. And I said, F. And I said, sometimes you gotta say that, Alex. Just go ahead, just say it, just say it. She started crying even more than about her bad day. And she said, I can't say it, don't make me say it. And I said, it's okay, you're 13 now, it's okay. You can cross that threshold. No, I can't say it. And I was like, what's the matter? Why are you so upset? And with tears streaming down your face, you said to me, if I say that word, I won't be your baby anymore. And that perfectly describes who you are. Alex, you will always be my baby, and I will always be proud of who you are, and I can't wait to see what you do in your life. There are so many things to do, and there are so many things to air fry. I love you, Queen.
I'm wishing my friend Guy out there had really convinced me to get the progressive lenses right now because I can't see you, I can't see this, so I'm going to try. So, as I'm sure you all know by now, Alex has type 1 diabetes like her big sister Arden. When Arden was first diagnosed, I didn't know what type 1 diabetes was, so I had no idea what she would be up against. But 2 years later, when we found out Alex had it too, it was like a punch to the gut. Because I now knew how tough it would be. But what was worse was knowing that I was going to have to tell this wide-eyed 6-year-old that she had diabetes. I had planned to wait until we got home from the doctor that day so Jen could be there too, but as we drove away from the doctor's office, Alex asked, probably having overheard our conversations, do I have diabetes? How could I not answer her? So I said, yes. Alex started to cry, which made me cry, especially when she begged me to go back to the doctor's office so they could take her diabetes away. I told her they couldn't take it back, but I would buy her anything to make her stop crying. We eventually settled on some subs at a favorite restaurant of hers and an iPad. Telling Alex that she had diabetes was probably the toughest day of my life, and that was also the first day of Alex's new life. But instead of feeling sorry for herself, she wiped away her tears, asked if she could borrow my phone so she could film a tutorial on how to deal with diabetes for other kids to learn from. It was both adorable and heartbreaking to watch. But it was that moment that I realized she's got this. She's going to be okay. She's a fighter, and she's been a fighter every day since. She's never let her diabetes stop her from anything, even eating when her blood sugar is too high to eat. That's a diabetes joke. And I know that this indomitable spirit will lead to great things as the adult she's just become today. Alex is one of the kindest, sweetest, and most thoughtful people I know, and I'm proud to call her my daughter. I love you, Alex.
Well, thank you, Jen. Thank you, Rick, so much. We appreciate such heartfelt and touching and sometimes vulgar words. Well, and thank you, Alex. Thank you. This was a wonderful experience today. Thank you for creating such an inspiring day of prayer and learning and celebration. Alex, I was so deeply moved by your bat mitzvah speech, your Devar Torah. I imagine that we all were. What you shared with us was powerful, it was profound, it was touching, and it was wise. And I love your gentle sense of humor about an issue that's difficult and that's challenging. Alex, your openness about living with type 1 diabetes, the many ways that you take good care to keep yourself healthy, and the extraordinary strength of character that you clearly possess. It is all deeply, deeply inspiring to each one of us, and it's tremendously helpful for us to know so that we can better understand what you're going through and so that we can be there in the ways that you want. Alex, you courageously talked about feeling excluded at times because of diabetes, like those who had skin diseases in this week's Torah portion and who had to temporarily isolate themselves outside the camp, away from the community. That sense of isolation and feeling excluded from others, we know it's painful. It hurts. We naturally feel it if we have a disease or a disability that keeps us apart and distant from others' activities. At times, we may feel excluded and isolated from others if the color of our skin is different, or if it's our ethnicity, or our religion, or our gender identity, or our orientation. And at times, we may feel excluded and alone because of our social status or our economic conditions. The Torah and Judaism aspire to break down these barriers so that everyone feels included, so that everyone takes to heart that they are a respected, beloved member of the group, to know that they belong. The Torah says again and again and again, remember that you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Remember that you were strangers in the land of Egypt. In other words, you know the heart of the stranger. You know what that feels like. So take care of the so-called stranger. Love that person who is perceived to be a stranger, an outsider. Bring them in and treat them the way that you want to be treated, the way that you treat people, Alex. This empathic and ethical imperative toward the so-called stranger is declared no less than 36 times in the Torah. It is the most repeated directive of the Torah. It is that important. It is that essential to not exclude others or treat them poorly. This compassionate and kind impulse and behavior that the Torah advocates may be precisely why the ancient Jewish priests took such good care of the people who suffered from those skin diseases talked about in your Torah portion, Alex. For a person to have to leave the camp, to have to leave their home and their community, even temporarily, because of a skin disease that could prove contagious, well, we can imagine how isolating and sorrowful that must have felt. To feel unwell and to feel marginalized because of it, to feel segregated, to feel alone, that is a painful, painful feeling that requires loving care. So the ancient priests would be there for them to diagnose the disease and to offer hope, to visit the people afflicted living outside the camp, reaching out to them and providing encouragement, ultimately helping to determine when they were well enough to return to the community and their homes, then bringing them back in, assisting them to ensure their safe reentry into the community and into their home. It's a Torah, it's a teaching of inclusion, meeting people where they are with love and with respect and with compassion, those qualities, Alex, that you possess. Today, we don't have to be priests to reach out to whomever feels marginalized or excluded. In fact, it's up to each one of us, each of us an equal member of society, each of us an equal vital part of the community, regardless of our perceived differences. We all have a role to play in creating a more inclusive society. We all have the ability to help build a kind and just community and a better world. It's why I cherish a story in the Jewish tradition about a woman who once stood before God, her heart breaking from the pain and the injustice in the world. "Dear God," she cried out, "look at all the suffering and look at all the anguish and the distress in your world. Why don't you send help?" God responded, "I did send help. I sent you." I do believe that's what God is saying to each one of us. I sent you. Alex, you are responding to that call through your transformative bat mitzvah project at Camp Conrad Chinook. Am I pronouncing Chinook right? By helping kids like you who have diabetes also to have that experience, that joyful, peaceful experience of belonging, feeling included, feeling safe, feeling healthy, and at home inside the camp. We support you in your efforts to provide such a significant experience to other kids. Again, to contribute, the website for Camp Conrad Chinook is diabetescamping.org, diabetescamping.org. Alex, in addition to Camp Conrad Chinook being a place where you feel like you belong, we hope that you always feel that way about Temple Sinai, your temple community, your spiritual home away from home, where we embrace you and your sister and your family. Many of us here at Temple Sinai have had the great pleasure of knowing you for close to 7 years, since before you were in first grade. I want to personally thank you, Alex, for helping to make our community and our spiritual home a place of kindness and respect and dignity and compassion and humor and goodness. Alex, you are such a thoughtful and wise and compassionate, caring, kind, creative young woman. That is what it means to be a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandment, and that is who you are. Alex, may you continue to be a great blessing to the world and to all of us. Mazel tov. Mazel tov to you, and mazel tov to your wonderful family. Well, at this time, Cantorless and I would be honored to share with you the most precious blessing of the Jewish people, God's blessing found in the Torah. We invite you to join us at the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark. Please rise, everybody.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Alex, may God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's love and God's wisdom shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
Alex, may God always be with you and be with your beautiful family and give you all the most precious blessing of all, the blessing of Shalom. It is peace, and it is wholeness, and it is fulfillment in every way. And together, let's all say, Amen. And please be seated, everybody. Well, Alex, at this time, leaders of our community would be very honored to make a special presentation to you. I'm honored to begin by calling upon a member of our board of directors, Flo Cohen.
Hi, Alex. Congratulations on such a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Your poise, your speech, the way you chanted Torah, everything was just wonderful.
Thank you.
On behalf of the board of directors of the temple, I have some gifts for you. First of all, your very own certificate, suitable for framing, saying that on this day you became a bar mitzvah. And a $250 gift certificate to be used on a teen trip through NIFTY to Israel sometime during your high school year. And we hope you'll continue with Giddy, which is the NIFTY here at Temple. And now my personal favorite, the women's commentary. Do you know we're one of the first temples that give the women's commentary to our bat mitzvahs? It is hello, wrong part. The book is, I'm so excited about this that I lost my place with the other. It's the first comprehensive contemporary commentary on the 5 books of Moses that was authored exclusively by women, smart, talented, caring women, women of sisterhoods throughout the country, and people who were involved. In other words, women like the kind of woman you're becoming. So congratulations and thank you so much. My honor.
Thank you, Flo. And Alex, on behalf of our temple sisterhood and our brotherhood, our temple brotherhood, we are honored to call upon Stephanie and George Lowe.
Hi. Alex, congratulations. You did a wonderful job today. Everyone is so proud of you. And on behalf of Sisterhood and Temple Sinai, it's my privilege to give to you this mezuzah. Please hang it on your doorstep, at your bedroom, and always can remind you always of the connection that you have to Judaism and wherever your life takes you. And also so that you will always feel God's presence on your journey, and also the warmth of knowing that Temple Sinai will always be your home. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mazel tov, Alex. You have done a wonderful job and made everyone very proud. I am honored on behalf of Brotherhood, to present you with this Kiddush cup. May it overflow with not too sweet grape juice and one-day wine. And whenever you use it, may you be reminded of your home here at Temple Sinai as well as this day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, Alex, you got some goodies. You wanna leave it right here, and we've got a few more prayers. You've been working hard today, so how about if you want to take a breather and sit with your family? Cantor and I will finish out the service with everybody, and then we'll celebrate in the social hall in just a few moments. All right, we're going to turn back into our prayer book, back to page 586. Back to page 586. We come to the adoration prayer called Elenu. This prayer is said before the open ark. The open ark is a symbol of the divine presence in our lives. So let's all stand together. We're in the middle of page 586.
Alenu l'shabeach Adon ha'kol, la'tei kidulam li'oseh breshit, shalom asanu k'goyei ha'aretzav, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shalom sam chalkeinu kahem, ve'dor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelechim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And please be seated, everybody.
כתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Jewish worship is never complete until we think of those people in our lives that we've loved and who have passed away, our family members who have died, our friends who have passed, members of our community, members of every race and nation who are a blessing to humanity. We think of them now. We honor them through our memory and through our prayer. This Shabbat, we say Kaddish for Sally Wolfish and Amy Bjorkland, Barry Nathan, Charles Norman, Harvey Hirsch, Phyllis Sivan, Shirley Rosenberg, Eva Hain, Marion Parnes, David Lieberman, Susan Schwartz. We say Kaddish for Leon Johnson, Stephen Snitzer, Anita Honeybar, Vera Schneiderman, Joan Kaffel Ettlinger, Janet Jeffries, Jennifer Woody, Nancy Lord, Barbara Bolter, Sandra Gainan, and Charlotte Hellman. And for those who are observing Yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one that is commemorated this week, we remember Beverly Schmerling, Bernice Luna, Shirley Davis, Marilyn Gordon, Herb Hain, Steve McGann, Rose Gassman, Stephen Sang, Joseph Snitzer, David Kaufman, Jake Lewis, Max Lewis, Agnes Lieberman, Jack Mark, Ronald Oakham, Grace Schildemeyer. We remember Robert Seiden and Ruth Zimmerman. Is there anybody who's mourning a loss whose name was not mentioned? And if so, we invite you to please raise your hand and mention that name now.
Ken Gerard. John Alosi.
Well, for all of them, we now stand together as a community of family and friends. As we turn to page 598 in our prayer book, page 598, to recite the Kaddish prayer, thanking God that they were with us, that they were on this earth. Together we pray. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divarach hirute v'amlich malchute. B'chaye chon u'vyom echon u'b'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman karri v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'mei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitpamam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim alenu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. May we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. And please be seated, everybody.
Please join me in Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
Shabbat Shalom. We have many wonderful events coming up here at Temple Sinai, which you can read about at the back of your sheet or in the weekly TSG email blast. Today's flowers were presented by Jennifer and Rick Suvalle in honor of their daughter's bat mitzvah, and by Leonard Cash for the yortzeit of Bernice Luna. At the conclusion of the service, everyone's invited to join the Kiddush luncheon hosted by Ellen and Michael Suvalle in honor of their granddaughter's bat mitzvah. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Flo. Well, Alex, at this time, we are honored to call upon your friend and classmate, Sage Pachinik, to make a special presentation to you on behalf of your religious school class here at Temple Sinai.
Yo. Congratulations. You did such a great job today. We are all really proud of you and happy that you're a classmate of ours. Hebrew school wouldn't be the same without you. We would like to give you this menorah to remind you of this day and the friendships you have made here at Temple Sinai. No problem.
Thank you, Sage. I wonder if we could ask you and Alex if you could help us. We're going to do just a couple of blessings, and then we'll head into the social hall for continue our celebration. So we're going to do Kiddush over grape juice, and then we're going to do motzi over the challah. Thank you, Rick. Let's see. Okay, so here we go.
Would you like some grape juice? Okay. I can set this down.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
L'chaim. All right. Okay, thank you, Arden. Let's see. Okay, very nice. Who wants to remove that challah cover? All right, thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
All right, the ceremonial tearing of the challah. What did you say?
Oh, yes.
Okay, go for it.
Don't ask twice.
There you go. All right. Well, as they are enjoying the challah, we now come to our closing song.
Yes, you can find our closing song on page 625 in your Siddur by Alex's request. We'll join together. Please stand as we sing Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach v'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shema nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yihye b'tif'ara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshir lo lehachmira beli reshit beli tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'hamizra ve'hu eli v'chai go'ali v'tzur chavli be'eit tzara ve'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruchi be'eiti sham ve'aira ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. We'd like to invite you to please, if you'll take your prayer book with you as you enter the social hall, and we've got some folks to greet you and to take the prayer book and put it back on the shelf. Thank you all. We'll look forward to celebrating the social hall in just a moment. Thank you are most welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Mazel tov. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you, Art. Thank you all. Wonderful. Oh, right? Sure. Now you enjoy. Yes. Wow. Everything looks tremendous from here, Jen.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's my mother.